am leaving my phone.
Good evening, everyone.
On top of fridge.
Welcome to Emmanuel's Spring Showcase 2024. We're really happy to perform for you tonight. I have a short prayer for us before we get started. Father, Son, and Holy Spirit, we thank you for the opportunity to use all these gifts to glorify your name and to have some fun at the same time. Bless all our efforts and performances, things we don't need to do to earn your love, things we get to do because of what Jesus has done for us, given his life, death, and resurrection. So we get to show kindness and acts of love and service to one another as a way of saying thank you for all that you've done for us. And this is just one of those ways. Be with us, protect us, and bless us. Amen. And now our first performance. We're going to dim the house lights while I get the pigs ready.
It's going to be good.
Please enjoy the Three Little Super Pigs, pre-K and kindergarten, featuring Pastor Swanson.
The Three Little Super Pigs by Claire Evans. Once upon a time, there were three little pigs who captured the big bad wolf in the house made of bricks. The hungry wolf fell down the little pig's chimney into a big pan of boiling water. He huffed and he puffed, but it was no use. He had fallen right into the pig's trap. "I'll get you one day, little pigs," the angry wolf shouted as he was carted off to prison. With smiles on their snouts, the three little pigs waved goodbye to the big bad villain. The citizens of Fairyland were very happy that the big bad wolf had been defeated. The little pigs were awarded special superhero status and became known as the Three Little Super Pigs. Working together, they all rebuilt the whole town out of bricks to keep everyone safe. We love you, super pigs. From that moment on, the super pigs spent all their days being heroes and enjoying their newfound fame. When they weren't greeting their fans, they were fighting crime and stopping nursery rhyme bad guys. Meanwhile, deep inside Happily Never After prison, the very angry big bad wolf was hungrily plotting his revenge in his cold and dreary cell. A few weeks later, the super pigs were called to investigate a new crime. Mysteriously, one by one, bricks were starting to disappear all around Fairyland. This was very strange. The super pigs were on the case. Later that day, they received some shocking news. The big bad wolf has escaped. The residents of Fairyland were scared and once again turned to the super pigs for help. Don't worry, the three boasted. We'll find that wolf and make him pay. The three little super pigs hunted high and low, far and wide, and long and hard, but the big bad wolf was nowhere to be seen. The pigs searched everywhere for clues. Some people claimed they'd seen the wolf dressed up as an old lady. So the pigs rounded up all the grandmas in Fairyland. But the wolf was a master of disguise, and they just couldn't spot him. Every day, more and more bricks disappeared from Fairyland. As night fell, the whole town locked themselves indoors, too frightened to go out. They hoped the super pigs would find the wolf soon. He was up to something big and bad. Back at home, the first super pig was relaxing when he sensed something strange. Suddenly, a dark shadow fell upon the room. "The big bad wolf!" cried the super pig. "I don't need to huff, I don't need to puff, and I don't even need to blow your house in because I'm already inside," replied the pointy-eared wolf. The pig ran out through the front door, but was met with a terrible surprise. The cunning wolf had built a gigantic wall around the super pig's houses using the stolen bricks from fairyland. The super pig was trapped. Attempting to flee, the super pig tried to climb the brick wall using a ladder from the side of his house, but it was too short. "Gotcha!" sneered the wolf as he captured the helpless pig. Unaware of the danger, the second super pig was at home polishing his metals when he suddenly spotted something out of the corner of his eye. "The big bad wolf!" shrieked the super pig. "I don't need to huff, I don't need to puff, and I don't even need to blow your house in because I'm already inside," growled the wolf. With a huge scream, the terrified super pig quickly ran outside into the enormous brick wall. Desperate to escape, the little pig jumped on a nearby trampoline, bouncing as high as he could, but it was no use. "Gotcha!" boasted the wolf as he caught the pig. "Two down, one to go," laughed the wolf as he prepared his delicious meal. The third super pig had heard all the commotion and was busy hatching a plan when the big bad wolf suddenly appeared at his window. The super pig grabbed his gear and raced straight out the front door and down the path as quickly as his little legs could carry him. Working quickly, he freed his captured brothers from their tight pastry blankets. But it was not quick enough. "Ha ha ha! There's nowhere to run and nowhere to hide. I've built a wall around your houses and now you're trapped inside," laughed the hungry wolf. "You're no super pigs, you're my dinner." "I don't think so," shouted the third super pig. He whispered to his brothers, "Ready, set, let's go." And in a flash, they blasted off high into the night sky. The clever brother had outsmarted the silly wolf again. Using his jetpack invention to save the day, the super pigs had left the big bad wolf trapped in his own self-built brick prison. The angry wolf raised his fists. "I'll get you yet, little pigs." Up in the sky, the three little super pigs laughed out loud. "You'll never get us, not by the hairs on our chinny chin chins." And down below, the citizens of Fairyland cheered, "Wow, pigs really can fly!" The three little pigs had saved Fairyland from the big bad wolf once again. They truly were superheroes. Hooray for the three little super pigs. The end. Good job, guys. Go. Yeah. Let's go first grade. Ooh. Let's go first grade. Let's go King Mason. Yeah, it is. Tommy, good job. Yeah, you did a really, really good job, Tommy. Yeah.
Now, Emmanuel first graders present The King Who Thought He Could Sing.
He
Our next performance in the Spring Showcase 2024 is Stone Soup by the second and third grade.
A few years ago, droughts came more often, and so did floods.
It seemed to the farmers of the county it either rained too much or not at all.
It never rained just enough.
Farmer Jones was such a farmer, but no matter how hard he worked, he never seemed to prosper.
The soil was so rocky and full of stones day spent most of his time lifting and carting them off by the wagon load.
Finally, Farmer Jones worked himself so hard one day that he died of a broken heart.
And oh, how his family missed him.
What shall we do, my children dear? Without your father, we shall surely starve. We needn't starve, Mother. We just work harder. But you children are just too young to do a man's work, and I'm too weak. Have we any money left to buy seed for next year? All the money is gone, spent on your father's medicine. Has Father left us nothing to live on? All I could find were the 3 lucky stones he always kept. You mean the stones he had left over from building the wall around the old garden? Yes, those stones. And here they are. He said that each of you should receive one of these. He said he hoped they brought you better luck than they did him.
I'm afraid you'll be needing more than lucky stones to keep this farm operating, Mrs. Jones.
So this is just that rhymes. I like rhymes. Rhymes are funny. When people make rhymes, it makes me laugh and laugh. Can you think of a word that rhymes with sticky? Sticky. Let me think. Let me think. Oh, I'm such a silly one. Help me out. Help me out. Icky. Icky and sticky. Ha ha. That's funny. That's funny. Rhymes are so funny. You keep your quiet, Constance, or I'll tell everyone thinking you have the sense you were born with. Children, Constance is a guest. Mind your manners. Yes, Mama.
Let me get back on the main point, Mrs. Jones. Since your husband crossed Gordon's bank, since he became defunct, extinct, dead as a doornail,
I get it, I get it.
since your husband reached the Stygian shores and now rests in peace, taxes have become due on this piece of property you call the Jones farm.
Mr. Jones's left of bones. That's a rhyme. That's a funny rhyme. Hush up, I say hush up.
To make a long story short, you people are starving to death and you're going to lose your farm.
And
And I'm here to make you an offer. It's not much, mind you, but it will keep you and your children from starving until you can find another place to live.
another place to live? Are we moving, Mother? I don't want to move. This is terrible. I will handle this. May I see your offer?
I took the liberty of writing it down. I think you'll find this a generous offer.
What our farm is worth 10 times that amount.
Times are hard, Mrs. Jones. I'm afraid you won't find any other neighbors with enough money on hand to make an offer.
But this is practically robbery. Is this how you bought the farm from the widow Warren?
I pay what the market will bear, Mrs. Jones. Nothing more, nothing less.
This is like one of those childish melodramas where the villain tries stealing the deed to the ranch.
This isn't fiction. If you don't pay the taxes, you're going to lose your farm. And at least with me, you can walk away with some cash.
I'd rather walk the roads as a beggar than to let you have my farm for such a pittance.
It matters little to me. Either you sell the farm to me at this price, or the state takes it over for back taxes, and I buy it from them.
You're a mean and wicked man, Hardy Scrabble. A mean and wicked man. And you're vicious. And you're unredeemingly repellent.
You don't know how good. If these were the good old days, I'd have you all tied to a railroad track until you gave me the deed.
That's it. That's it. I'm off to New York City, Mother. New York City? What would you find there? They have a place called Wall Street. I'll go there with a large banking cup and I'll convince the stockbrokers to give us money.
That's a wonderful plan. Stockbrokers on Wall Street are well known for their generosity.
And here I thought my Constance was a senseless one. They might be right, Cinder. You might be better off staying with us. So we can all start together? No, thank you. I'll take my chances with Wall Street. After all, that's where the money is. How will you get there, Cinder? It's a long way off and you have no money. I have a thumb and I'm not afraid of work. I figured out a
So that's a big plan, is it? Well, let's be off, wife. And you too, Constance. We have a short delay, but soon this farm will come our way.
Short delay, come our way. That's funny. That's funny because it rhymes. Hold your tongue, child. I hate to see you leave us here, but I can see your point. We have to try everything we can to save the farm, even a long shot.
When will you leave, Cinder?
I shall start off immediately, Flint. Strike while the iron is hot, I say. There's no reason to procrastinate.
I should go with her, Mother. Besides, she should use some company.
Yes, Flint. Go with Cinder. Roxanne will stay with me. Will you not, Roxanne? Yes, Mother. We'll see you off as far as the road. What should I do about the stones Father left here? You can save them for us, Mother. We'll come back for them soon enough. Promise? We promise.
And so it was. Cinder and Flint left home to seek help for their family in faraway New York City, not known for its kindness to strangers.
Meanwhile, Mother and Roxanne went to their neighbors for help.
But even the friendliest of neighbors were unable to feed them.
All the larders were bare, and famine stalked the land.
But some villagers managed to eke out a living.
Once such a person, Mrs. Hilton, the local innkeeper.
Unfortunately for the Jones family, she had the reputation for being one of the stingiest women ever to run an inn.
She'd be known to cheat starving orphans.
She had padlocks on the rubbish bin, and to save on soap, she had only bathed once a year.
Unfortunately for the Jones family, they knew Miss Hilton had food, but they also knew she wouldn't share it with them, no matter how much they begged.
But Mrs. Jones had a plan.
No food. Sorry to say, no food at all. Isn't that right, Windermere? Right you are, Mrs. Hilton. Right you are. We're starving. Here, just like the rest of the county. Undernourished, starving, famished, and emaciated we are. There's a great insufficiency of food that we face. A great insufficiency. No food? That's what we thought. And so we brought something to share with you. To share with us? Well, that's a surprise, isn't it, Fred Needles? Oh, yes, this is a great surprise indeed. I'm amazed and astonished. You caught us quite unawares. This is a wonderment. I'm truly shocked. Do you believe in miracles? Certainly. I believe in miracles. Why, it's a miracle I'm kept alive with a little nourishment I've taken in since this famine began. Then you must have heard of the magic stone. A magic stone? I don't believe I've heard of that. Magic stone. Magic stone. How you do it is unknown. Magic stone. Magic stone. Fit for kings upon the throne. What is it that this magic stone does? Stones, actually. We have 3 of them. Triple the magic. Stone or stone, it doesn't matter. What do they do? They make soup. Soup? Yes, the most delicious soup you've ever tasted. Now hold on a minute. I've never heard of these magical stones. What sort of soup do they make? They make stone soup. The best and most nutritious soup you've ever tasted. Windermere, Paddington, Threadneedles, you need to watch carefully as I expose this woman for the cunning trickster she is. What do you mean, Mrs. Hilton? What I mean is there is no such thing as stone soup. This is all some sort of trick to get food for free, and I can prove it. And how would you be proving it? Does the kettle have water in it, Paddington? Does it need anything? It could use some salt, you know. It'd be flavorless without some salt. I can get you some salt. Is that all right, Mrs. Hilton? I suppose so. A few pinches won't kill me. And a few carrots wouldn't hurt. What in the world are the carrots for? Who likes soup without a few carrots in it? It helps the taste, and they just look good in the kettle. The orange of the carrots goes so well with the green of the celery. I can get you some celery to add along with the carrots. You know, I'm getting quite hungry myself with the talk of all this food. Do you like onions, Mrs. Hilton? When I was younger, I couldn't stand the sight of them. A bunch of onions would knock me out. I couldn't understand why adults loved them so much. But as I got older, I came to love them myself. They just make any other food taste better, but especially meat. I thought you might like onions. Why is that? There's just a whiff of onion on you. She's right, Mrs. Hilton. You do smell like onions. Why, thank you. What was that you said about meat? Onions make meat taste better. I agree with you about onions, especially when you said they make other food taste better. If only we had some stew meat. We could pair that up with the onion flavor in all the soup we'd have. Are you sure you need meat? Bring us the chopped up onions, thread needles. We can spare the onions for sure. It seems we'd be wasting the soup if we don't put some meat in it. And you know you have some stew meat back there. Might as well use it up before it goes wasted. Waste not, want not is what I always said. Sure, bring out the stew meat. It can't hurt. You know, eventually this might be the best stone soup ever. What else must we do? I'm getting quite hungry. Do you still have the stove in the back room? Of course, of course. We must put the kettle on the stove to simmer. And we must cook the soup for at least 3 hours to let the magic stones do their work. 3 hours? I don't know if I can wait that long. Magic stone, magic stone. How you do it is unknown. Magic stone, fit for kings upon the throne. Magic stone, how you do it is unknown. Magic stone, fit for kings upon the throne.
And so the magic stones began to do their work.
They added their magical flavors to the celery and the carrots and the onions and the salt and the pepper and the potatoes and the meat.
And everything bubbled and tumbled together, and the simmering broth had made it delicious.
Finally, a wonderful stone soup was created, perhaps the finest stone soup ever made.
But what if Cinder and Flint?
Would they be successful with their begging cup on Wall Street?
Would the rich and powerful giants of stocks and bonds pay any attention to them at all?
All's for the poor, all's for the poor. Beggars, it gets worse every day. All's for the poor, all's for the poor. Sorry, no money on me. I'm on credit cards. All's for the poor, all's for the poor. Where's the police when we need them? All's for the poor, all's for the poor. These beggars frighten me. All's for the poor, all's for the poor. How much so far? Not enough for a cup of soup yet. These people are cold.
Maybe it's the way we're doing this.
Should we change our begging technique?
Couldn't hurt.
We demand money! We demand money! We demand money! They're all avoiding us. Intimidation certainly doesn't work.
Maybe we're not. Now we're in trouble. We seem to be getting this all wrong.
Could it be our accents?
Maybe if we sounded more Brooklyn, a small townish, they'd help us.
What's up, Doc?
Sorry, out of carrots, Bugsy.
That went over well.
Maybe we're not pathetic enough. Let's start crying. Maybe that'll pull in some coins. May I see the beggar's cup?
Sure. What are you going to do with it?
I hear Wall Street is crazy about the .com craze. Maybe this will help.
Beggars.com? How would that help? If they kick us when we cry, this will make them even madder.
We'll see. I have a hunch this might work.
Beggars.com! Beggars.com! Beggars.com? Sounds like a winner to me. How much do you need? I want it on the ground floor. I'll double what he offers. I'll triple it, but I want an exclusive on sharing your name.
I'll make it $1 million and you can float your own IPO on NASDAQ.
1 million? 1 million? Are you kidding?
Okay, make it $2 million. I'll make it $3 million.
Sorry, people.
We're waiting for an offer from Bill Gates.
Bill Gates?
4 million, and I'll have the money for you before the day ends. Do you have any other ideas? Besides beggars.com?
If you do, I can offer you some strategic alliances.
Do you have any other brilliant ideas? Certainly. Don't we, Cinder?
Let me think.
Strike while the iron is hot.
eBay!
eBay?
Sure, it's a lot like eBay, only a begging. eBay? What a great idea.
Wait a minute. Why don't we set up an auction? I have a lot of partners who would like to make bids. An auction to buy eBay.
There's an auction house right down the street.
I can offer you a supply chain integration in the beggars community.
You'll be the 2 richest beggars the world has ever seen.
Be sure to bid high.
That's right, we don't come cheap. Let's set up 10 wasting.
What a turn of events, Cinder.
I'll say, these are the same people who kicked and punched us a minute ago.
But do you really think we'll get their money?
Funny, isn't it? They won't spare us a penny, but they can't wait to drop millions in our cup. Let's get out of here quickly before somebody else tricks these fools.
Meanwhile, back at home, the stones had done their work, especially when they mixed with all the delicious meat and celery and carrots and onions and who knows what else.
After simmering for hours on the stove,
The stone soup was ready to eat.
This has to be the finest soup I've ever tasted. Fantastic. I think these magic stones will be doing the trick. You must tell us where you picked up the recipe. My grandmother gave it to me. Your grandmother? Was she from around here? No, she was from Estonia. Yes, that's right, Estonia. The reason I ask is I might be able to pay you something for such a recipe. The recipe is the same as any beef vegetable soup, except, of course, for the stones. And we couldn't sell you the magic stones. Right, these stones are family heirlooms. Of course, our family farm has lots of stones. And are they all magic? Every one of them. Would you be willing to sell me your farm at this price? I must admit, you are very generous, but a hearty Scrabble has already made me a very generous offer. And that's right, but my wife convinced me I should offer you more. How much more? As you can see, I doubled my previous offer. Let me see that. Why, that's not an offer at all. I can easily double that.
Don't know what you're doing, Mrs. Hilton. Keep out of this, Mrs. Hilton. You don't know what you're doing. I've been buying up all the land in this part of the county, and the Jones place is the final piece of the puzzle.
If it's worth more, you should offer more.
It's a useless farm, Mrs. Hilton. It has more rocks than the Rocky Mountains.
That's music to my ears.
It's useless to you, Mrs. Hilton. It's useless to you. It's just one stone piled on another.
Don't be a foolhardy. It's not worth it.
You stay out of this, Mrs. Scrabble.
All day, Mommy and Daddy love to fight. Haha, I made another funny rhyme. I made my final offer, Mrs. Jones. Will you accept it? Hardy?
You're bleeding me to death here.
Going once, going twice.
Fine. I'll double her last offer if Hilton wants it.
Do you have the money here now?
Yes, I do. And here it is.
You priced me out.
Now tell me, Mrs. Hilton, why did you bid me up so high?
I just know it has the finest stones known to mankind.
I know it has stones, but does it have anything in value?
I should have bid higher. Senior, back so soon?
We've already conquered Wall Street. There's nothing left for us to do.
Did you make any money? Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. 4 bags full. This is brilliant news. she. I will not. You will too. All that and all day fighting is their only way. I made another funny ring. Sorry, Abby, but we don't want the farm anymore. I thought we might live somewhere else for a while. What about the Riviera? I heard it's wonderful. I hear it's wonderful this time of year. French Riviera or Italian Riviera? Who cares? With our money, we can easily do both. I still can't believe you went to Wall Street with a beggar's cup and came back with millions. And I still can't believe how you convinced Hardy Scrabble to pay good money for the worst farm on earth.
Worst farm on earth? What's that I hear?
A deal's a deal and a dump's is a dump.
No! No!
What about the stones, Mrs. Jones? Stones and Jones. That's funny. You can keep the stones, Mrs. Hilton. There are plenty more where they came from. Yep. Just go to Hardy's new farm.
No! No! Evil plan spoiled. I bought a useless farm full of rocks and stones.
It's hardly useless, Mr. Scrabble. You can always make stone soup.
And our final showcase of the evening is our 4th through 8th grade The Princess on the Rocks.
You shall marry the prince.
I shall not.
Yes, you shall.
No, I won't.
Husband, this is your daughter, not mine. And if she won't obey me, I can't live with it. Is that what you want?
No, my dear.
The marriage has been arranged, and she won't leave today. All my plans will be ruined.
And we can't have that, can we?
You see how she talks to me? Either you convince her to leave on her own today, or all my plans will be ruined.
Well, isn't that rather harsh?
Her willful defiance forces me to extreme measures.
You know, being in that box won't be all that bad. At least I don't have to see your face purple with rage.
Vivian!
I can't stand listening to insubordination. Talk to your daughter, King Fencer, and bend her to my will.
There! You've gone and done it again.
But father, can't you see it my way?
My daughter, you're a strong-headed girl, but you seem to be constantly at odds with your mother.
She's not my mother, she's my stepmother.
Are you saying that you rebel against her because she isn't your mother?
No, father, there are many wonderful stepmothers in the world, but Queen Tyra doesn't happen to be one of them.
Well, surely you're aware that you infuriate me entirely. I'm trying to make this marriage work, but you only seem to make it more difficult.
You married her
too quickly after my mother's death, Father. She saw you felt desperately lonely and she manipulated you into marriage.
I can see how you might see it that way, but it's not true. Tyra loves me.
She loves your position. She'd dump you in a second and she could keep the crown without you.
You have no evidence for this.
The evidence is in her cruel and ugly eyes.
Silence, Vivian. You've gone too far.
Well, have you convinced her?
Not quite, darling. Not quite.
I was afraid of that, and that is why I've come prepared. You can't be serious about boxing me up in that thing. I am deadly serious, especially since you won't listen to reason. Father, you can't let this happen! Father! Father! Father!
All for the best, Vivian. All for the best.
Come help me.
All the mats prepared for the sleeping contest.
Yes, my lord. All but one. Are all the rocks placed beneath the sleeping mats as ordered? Yes, Duke Lobby, and a painful experience it would be for all who sleep there. The central mat for my daughter has no rocks, as you ordered, sir. But why is this? That is my concern, not yours. If you want to keep your head, not a worthiness to anyone. But, sir, all the mats are so lumpy and your daughter's less flat. Will the king not notice? Place this bundle of rocks beneath your mat. It will pass the rocks.
There's a story people call The Princess and the Pea. It's a pretty little tale, but I think it's silly. Who cares if some spoiled little girl can feel a pea beneath a dozen feather beds? All that shows that she's too soft to become a good leader of the people.
We don't need some soft and squishy girl, some sad laughing stock. We need someone to be a leader of the people. We require a rock to a princess to stand beside our noble prince.
We have chosen 8 girls from the countryside. Only one will pass the test and become his bride. The mattresses are filled with rocks and jagged stones. Only one princess will pass the test, the princess with the strongest bones. This was a wonderful test you devised, Duke Lobby, although our young prince mumbles some disagreements.
I respect the wishes of my mother and father, but I fail to see why the ability to sleep on rocks to determine who my wife will be.
You are impossible to please, my young prince. We arranged a marriage with you and Princess Vivian, and you have none of it.
Why should you arrange my marriage? I have never even seen this Princess Vivian. I have no idea where she looks like a monster or acts like one. Why can't I arrange my own marriage?
That's not the way we do things around here. We follow tradition.
However, as luck would have it, it was all for the better. Princess Vivian had her own quibbles about our wedding arrangements.
And she was right.
How would you know she was right? You have never even met her.
Well, what I do know is that this contest is sheer lunacy.
The road to wisdom is extremely rocky, my young prince, and only those who've experienced great pain can learn to rule with wisdom.
I noticed your daughter, Princess Globby, is in the contest. I hope you haven't stretched out the competition to give her any advantage, although she already has quite an advantage since she sleeps past noonie today.
The princess has a glandular problem, which forces her to sleep when she would rather be up with her good works and charities.
She works on charities. That is most excellent in a princess.
Why, yes, that is the most commendable.
And charity, of course, always begins at home.
See how the contest goes. Already some of the girls seem to twitch in pain.
Yes, many seem convulsed with anguish.
And that is the wisdom of my contest. Only the very brave can withstand such torture.
Oh, why do I think I'd take this Madden in pain? It hurts my back like a bomb attack. I fear I'm going insane. Ow, ow, ow.
that's made in heaven, my boy.
Well, this certainly isn't paradise!
I won't have you speak to us in that tone.
And where do you think you're going, young man?
To clear my head! It suddenly feels very stuffy in here!
Wake up, darling, wake up. It's time to work on preparations for the wedding. Just wake me up when it's over. Let's rest last before we break our arms.
Not just my arms, my legs are killing me.
But if we here for the rest on the job, she'll have our heads.
Don't stop now. Just throw me off a cliff, you cowards.
She's still at it.
If she doesn't fear the queen, why should she fear us?
That's right. I'm not afraid of anything.
Well, we're afraid, Princess Vivian. Afraid for our lives.
What are your orders?
We're told by the queen to take you to the woods, dig a hole, and bury you alive.
Do you have any shovels?
Oh, I didn't bring one. Who has the shovels?
Keith, you're in charge. Did you read any shovels?
Oh, the queen told me to bring along 4 shovels. We're in trouble now.
Now we'll be buried alive.
Nothing to worry about, you fools.
What do you mean?
I'm already inside a coffin. Just drop me off here and return home. I'm not about to get out of here myself.
She's right, you know. She's as good as dead inside there. She can't get out and she'll starve to death.
Hello, Princess Vivian. Do you mind if we leave you here to starve to death inside this box?
Sounds like a brilliant plan to me.
We could dig a hole with our hands.
My hands are blistered from carrying this box.
Mine too.
All right, so we just have to leave her in there to slowly waste away for lack of nutrition. But everyone must promise never to tell anyone else.
I promise.
Me too.
Count me in.
It's a bargain. Let's seal it.
I'm sorry to leave you here to die like this, Princess Vivian, but I'm sure you'll understand.
Don't worry about me, boys. I'm as happy as a rat in a trap.
First, they tried to get me to marry someone I never met. Then they think they could try to get me to marry someone I can never respect. Life is not one-way shut for me. Wait, what in the world is that doing there? Is there something inside?
I guess that I'll stay single. Lonely I will be, for I'm too independent. My heart is too free. I'll never bow my head to any man's decree. I'll only love someone who loves me for me.
Before her brave words have reached me, I felt I couldn't cope. Oh, but now that I hear her words, my heart is filled with hope. Perhaps this is the one who was always meant for me. I will love this sweet maiden if she will love me.
Is there a person out there?
Yes, there is. It's me.
I'm sorry I can't invite you in for tea and cakes, but I'm a bit tied up at the moment. It's such a breach of manners, and I'm quite mortified.
Would you like to get out of there?
That would be nice. There's a latch on top. Can you figure it out?
Are you unharmed? Who put you in this box?
Oh, I'm fine. And I guess you could say I put myself in this box.
Are you serious? That sounds unlikely.
Well, I'd be in a beautiful castle surrounded by luxury if I only learned to be quiet and do as I'm told.
That's a necessary skill for a slave or a knave.
I like your way with words.
And I admire the sentiments you expressed earlier. But why did someone have you boxed up like that?
Well, my parents wanted me to marry an ugly troll, a festering ogre, a polluted prince.
And you refused, of course?
Naturally.
My parents wanted me to marry a hideous female, an unsightly girl, a repulsive princess.
And you refused?
Naturally.
Well, I actually never even seen this prince, but my cousin, Princess Globby, informed me by letter of his shortcomings.
That's odd.
What's odd?
This same Princess... Oh, you mentioned Princess Globby. This same Princess Globby informed me by letters of Princess Vivian's shortcomings. Quite a detailed account, actually.
Princess Vivian, was it?
Yes, and what was the name of the monster your parents had picked out for you?
Prince Brahma was his name.
An ugly fellow?
Oh, yes. Warts and pimples and pustules galore. And what did Princess Globby say of your princess?
Weighed close to 700 pounds. Hunchbacked and hairy, of course.
Of course.
You are, I take it, none other than the Princess Vivian?
And you are the warty Prince Brahma?
Yes.
And this, of course, is love at first sight?
Yeah, it is. I think I fell in love with you before I even saw you, when I heard you speaking so gallantly in that box.
We must marry immediately. Love like ours cannot be delayed.
My love for you is already as deep as the ocean and as boundless as the sky. But there are some issues at home for us to which we must attend.
And after that we shall live happily ever after?
Of course, my love, of course.
You say you haven't heard from Princess Vivian in some time now.
Not since my good Queen Tyra had her box up here and sent as a present for the prince.
Fortunately, you had already given up on Vivian, and Princess Globby was chosen for her mate. A most intelligent choice, I might add. I have always admired your father, the Duke, as a man of great mental agility.
It has always been my greatest desire to meet the beautiful Queen Tyra face to face.
Don't be so openly affectionate with me. You must be patient, dearest darling.
I will abide, my love.
With two such gullible kings, it won't be that long until we rule both lands.
It would please my good queen and myself if you'd have your people keep an eye out for my daughter. Although she is often vexed with it, I'm sure it is only a phase she is going through.
She suspects I poisoned her real mother, although she has absolutely no direct evidence for this.
Our dear son has caused us much vexation, but this marriage has settled him down. It's time for my nap. You promised this wouldn't take so long. How did your daughter get out of the box?
My servants took pity on her and allowed her out of the box briefly. She ran away despite her solemn promise not to run away.
I wish I could find that box. I'd go sleep in it. You'll have all the sleep you want, my daughter. Not until after the wedding. That's right. I get to marry the prince. And when other people die, I get to be queen.
I see the prince is already dressed for his marriage.
In a matter of speaking, yes.
Let's get this over fast, Prince. I haven't stayed awake this long in ages.
And all in a good time, Princess Globby. All in a good time. But first, I have a little surprise for King Fencer and Queen Tyra.
A surprise? I don't really care for surprises.
Neither do I.
Hello, stepmother. Are you glad to see me?
What is this all about? Weren't you supposed to be?
Dead? Buried alive? Worms meat?
What is the meaning of this? Did you know anything about this?
Well, yes, actually I did.
Since when?
Since yesterday, actually. The prince suggested I keep quiet until then. Come here, my daughter.
It seems the servants sent to bring Vivian here were actually meant to be her murderers.
Murderers? Then have them all arrested and execute them. And who arrests you, Duke Globby? Arrest me? For what?
It was your money that paid us to murder her.
I never spoke to you even once.
No, you were too clever for that. Queen Tyra gave the orders.
It was all his idea. He tricked me into it.
I tricked you into nothing. You poisoned Vivian's mother and ordered her to death.
Put them both into prison immediately.
I stopped you
in that sleeping contest.
That wasn't my idea, that was Father's. I just went to sleep.
Then come with me to prison. You can sleep your whole life away.
Isn't fair, isn't fair, isn't fair.
And now the prince will marry me. This is our wedding day.
Everything has turned out as it should.
The princess brought us great happiness, or so it does appear.
And now we have a daughter too, and the skies are blue and clear.
Friends, come and join us, and everybody cheer.
Long live Prince Rumble and Princess Ice Candy. Hip hip hooray! Hip hip hooray! Hip hip hooray!
Thank you very much for coming. We appreciate it. Look forward to seeing you tomorrow. There's school tomorrow. You can pick up your any of the props that you brought or made. You can pick them up in the hallway. Don't forget your children. And we also want to thank our teachers and staff who put this together. So give them a hand, please. Of course, the students themselves did an amazing job. I'm Mr. Rundgren, principal of our school, Emmanuel, and I'm pleased to say that we have 2 weeks of school left. For those who are in pre-K, we just have one. But God bless your evening and have a great long weekend. All right.